Immigration.
It has to be fixed, and the government's failed us miserably, and it starts with a secure border. It's now more difficult for me to get on an airplane in my hometown than it is for somebody to cross the international border. That's absurd, and everybody in America knows it. I don't think we're ultimately, as Americans, angry at the immigrants. We're angry at a government that has absolutely ignored this problem and allowed it to fester. You know, I tell people, look, I get on my knees every day, and I thank God I'm in a country people are trying to break into, not a country they're trying to break out of. That's good. But what isn't good is that we have allowed people to come. We don't know who they are, where they are, why they're here. Do they have a communicable disease?
So every illegal alien in this country who came in without, unlawfully, you would do what with?
I would first deal with them at the point of their employment. Because you're never going to get all the illegals to raise their hand and say, oh, by the way, I'm here illegally. That's unrealistic. So deal with them at the point of the employment. If the employer knowingly hires people who aren't legal, then put the penalty on the employer and put the burden to get the employer to take the necessary steps to get that person to start this process and do it legally. Now, part of what has to happen is the government has got to make the process far more streamlined and effective, because if it takes 7 or 8 years to get a permit so you can pluck a chicken or make a bed at the motel or tar a roof, most people will just say, I think I'll just take my chances and start tarring roofs tomorrow and not spend 7 years in line. So they're hungry, they're wanting to feed their families. Do you blame them? Do you blame a government that puts that kind of bureaucratic nonsense in front of them?
Where do you put amnesty in your vocabulary?
I don't believe in amnesty. I think it's a big mistake. It sends the wrong signal. I don't believe in sanctuary cities. I think that's a big mistake. You don't encourage...
So you and the president are at a very different place on this.
I understand where he's coming from, and I understand, and I'm grateful that he tried to do something, but I think his program did not satisfy enough Americans that you were going to really stop the influx, because it's got to start with the secure border, and his did not.